Hey everybody, my name is Angela, and on this episode of Honey and Hustle, I'm here with Charles Santos. He is the owner of the Builder Bee Project, and he's a broker with Keller Williams Preferred Realty here in the Triangle. I can't wait for you guys to learn more about him and what he does, and all the amazing things he has planned on both the construction and the selling side of real estate. So, Charles, hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Socially distant.
I know, right?
Yeah. So, can you tell us a little bit more about how you started your career on both sides of real estate, both with construction and with being a broker here in the Triangle?
Sure. So I started back in 2014. So I first got my license 2014, I would say around September. And then I had purchased I want to say like 3 weeks before I purchased my first investment property. So I renovated that property, and then I was fortunate enough to actually pass my test just in time to be able to list my own first flip. And basically that was in Garner, and took 3 weeks to renovate. It wasn't like a full gut reno like I'm doing right now. It was just like cosmetic stuff, paint, maybe changing some cabinets, fixing a few things here and there, some minor plumbing things. And I was able to sell the property in 2 days on market.
Okay.
That was an eye opener for me. And then that actually just launched me, because it just, let me back up a little. And prior to that, what made me go into real estate was, I was working for Time Warner Cable at the time. And I was there. I was working with them since New York City. They relocated me to North Carolina, and a year and a half into it, never had any issues with the company. Never had any write-ups for tardiness and anything like that. They let me go. At that point, I had a decision to make, whether I'm going to allow somebody to dictate how much money I can make, when I can make it, or if I'm going to pursue something for myself where I'm in control. Whether I fail, I'm in control of that. Whether I succeed, I'm in control of that. So, I had support from my family, and then they didn't, but I basically took the initiative to pursue a career in real estate. So I went for another job interview, and I had 2 job offerings. One was basically a full-time job. They paid good amount of money, but it was a full-time job, so it would pause my passion to want to pursue real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So I opted to go with AT&T, work with them as a part-time. I explained, hey, I want to go ahead and work part-time with you guys because I want to pursue a career in real estate. I did that for maybe like 6-8 months. And then I bought the house, got my license, and then once I flipped the first deal, I made about maybe like $14,000. At the time, even now it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money for your first deal. So that was eye opener, and that's basically what launched me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So sometimes we just need like a little push.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
To get it going.
I had to get fired. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, so like in times right now where a lot of people are experiencing financial insecurity,
Mm-hmm.
they're being let go, they're being furloughed, and maybe they've had these dreams of wanting to, dictate, how much income they make, do something they're passionate about, get paid for it, and live the dream. But
Correct.
then, a small business owner, it's not all like sunshine and rainbows, because there are going to be days when you're like, this isn't going so well. Yeah. So like when you went into construction and you're like, okay, I'm gonna have to put in money to get money out of it. I'm gonna have to put in time to get something out of it. What were things that helped you throughout that process?
I think I'm very hard-headed. I think that has to deal with it, because there's, the first deal I was a little bit involved, but as I kept getting more deals, I got more involved, and I got more ambitious to want to do more aggressive projects. And what I mean by that is basically doing more projects where there's more construction involved. It's not just cosmetic stuff. I was just curious about the construction side, and basically the next project that I got was in Raleigh, And that particular property was in really bad shape. I mean, there was basically the overgrown in the whole backyard. The deck, you could have just pushed it and it would have fell over. The siding, you could have seen from the inside, you could see outside, but it wasn't through a window. It was through the siding of the home. So, but I was very optimistic because I saw a blank canvas. So a lot of, and I consider myself an artist, and walls, the painting, the light fixtures, those are my canvases. Those are like my paint strokes that I use to communicate, or invoke an emotion when somebody walks into a space. That's what I aim to do. So the hurdles that I went with that was basically, at the time I didn't have a construction company, so I did have somebody that was doing the work, GC doing the work. What I did was, even though I was paying them, I would work for them for free, so I could learn more about the process and just educate myself more. So I'm slinging away the hammer. I wasn't as good as I am now. I'm not perfect, but I'm working every day. But the hurdles, in order to overcome the hurdles, you just have to have the mindset that I'm gonna make this happen. Like, I'm gonna do anything and everything possible to make sure that this is successful, and not thinking that any role is beneath you, not thinking that just because somebody does construction that their moral construct is less than yours or anything like that. That we're all in this together. We're all trying to better our families, better ourselves, and we're on a journey. And that's just it.
Yeah, and I feel like I identify with like parts of your story because I started off as a photographer only.
Okay.
And then I did some video stuff here and there, but it wasn't like, a full gut job, if you say. Like, I wasn't starting from scratch. And this year I was like, okay, I'm going to dedicate myself to learning more about videography, filmmaking, and how to be good at that. So like, I'm not perfect, but I'm a lot better than when I started because I committed to it, and I'm constantly working to get better and learn more and put myself in the position to learn, which is, really a painstaking process for people like once you get going, because again, you did that for free. They weren't paying you. So you had to learn out of your own time and your own dime, essentially, to make that happen. And that's a process. That's a process.
It was definitely a process.
But it's a big part of your growth. And it can be a big part of growth for other people who are looking to do the same thing. Like, maybe they do one part of their process for their business, but hey, why can't I do both ends? Why can't I add more to my skill set? I think that investing in yourself, investing in your skill set, investing in learning more about how you can grow is something that is really beneficial for everybody, whatever part of their career that they're at, because you're going to have to continually invest in yourself if you want your business to grow. And if you want to grow in any career field that you choose. So now you're at a point where you are doing a lot of your own construction as well as selling your own properties. And recently, how I actually found out about you and really got in touch with your story and how you run your business is there was a property that you wanted to buy. And there was a woman living in the property. And she was going to be displaced if you had bought this property blindly. So you stepped in and made sure that she was taken care of. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a property that I purchased in downtown Durham. It was probably like a little bit over a year ago, or almost a year ago. So I bought I was in the process of buying the property, and I was going to do a home inspection because I wasn't aware that my understanding was that the tenants were gonna, that they were willing to find another place to stay. And then when I went to do my inspection, I actually got a chance to speak with Beverly. She basically broke down, crying, like, oh, please don't take my house away from me. That touched me. I just reassured her, hey, no, that's not what I'm doing here. I didn't even know that this was happening. Had I known, I would have stepped in from day one. Like, no, we're not going to go about it this way. We're going to go about it a different way. Like, she's going to become my tenant. The same thing that I did with her. So I stepped in. It appeared that the landlord at the time was subleasing to somebody else, and that person was the person that was wasn't the nicest person. Let's just put it to you that way.
Yeah.
So I basically stepped in and I told the actual landlord, she no longer is going to be your tenant. She could stay, and I'll go ahead and handle the situation. And I was fortunate enough to be in a position to be able to do that, because I've heard a lot of stories from people that would be in that situation and wouldn't do something like that. So I'm grateful for that. Now, what I was able to do for her was, I let her stay for maybe like 2 or 3 months rent free, then helped her look for a new place for her to stay. I'll pay for her, security deposit, a couple of months of rent up front, and then helped her, and me and my crew helped her, get her stuff settled in her new place. And I recently checked up on her, and I think that's when you saw the video. I wanted to just see where she was at with things, how she was, adjusting, because it wasn't that far. It was probably like 5 minutes away from where she was. But nonetheless, I just wanted to check up on her and see how she was doing.
Yeah, that's like really special. I feel like we as business owners forget just how much we can impact the people that we work with. And it's important to take the time to think about that, because yes, money is important, income is important, but how you get it is just as important.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So how you make your money definitely defines you. Man makes money. Money doesn't make man. And like I said, we're on a journey, and I don't consider myself better than anybody else. I want to be in a position where I can help out as many. I want to be able to do more so I could give more, and that's just my mantra in life.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome. Just to have a mindset of how can I give. The givers get mentality is something that I feel like is growing in popularity among business owners, especially when we have such a strong business owner community here in the Triangle. So
Correct.
Yeah, I'm glad that we have so many people coming at it from different industries, different perspectives on what that looks like for you as a business owner. Yeah. So if you were talking to someone who is looking to start their own business, and thinking like, man, or they've started it and they've gotten to a point where you're like, okay, I'm making money, but I also want to be able to give in some way, shape, or form. What would your suggestions for them be for how they can get started making giving a practice in their business?
I mean, it all depends on what space you're occupying. I think, for me, I could look at situations like what I just explained and then step in. Also, look at basically, your community, just keeping your ears to the community, seeing where the money that you're gonna spend for whatever it is, just investing it back in the community so you could basically make an impact. And you don't have to do it like a charity. People say donate money to a charity, but more than likely you're not going to see where that money's going to go. But I mean, an advice is just look for opportunities where you're going to impact somebody's life in a positive way. Like when you look back at your life, like how many people did you help? How many people did you make smile? Like, and that's what I want to be remembered by, right? Like I want to be, when it's all said and done, it's like, it's not how many houses Charles built, how luxurious the houses Charles built, is how many people did he impact? How many people show up to pay their respect? Not because I have so much, it's just because I gave so much.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing that with me, and thank you for sharing that with everybody watching. Yeah. Really appreciate you coming out here today, being socially distant. I know it's hard, but I really appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Like this video if you guys liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.